Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hotelier with the Accent. And today we have for the episode 105, room actually 105, we have our IT manager, George. Welcome, George.
Thank you.
George Urnas, right?
Yes,
Where is your accent from?
of course, Greece.
Of course, Greece. So today you have two Greeks to see. So, as everybody knows, technology is necessity now for hospitality, and a lot of companies, a lot of hotels are implementing their own departments. So, George is the IT manager, the department of IT, whole department, if I remember well, right?
Yes, yes.
How you cope by having a whole department by yourself?
Alone, but I cope with that very well. It's difficult, it's a lot of pressure, but it's also fascinating.
First of all, before we go to the tasks, can you give us a bit of background? So, how someone can be IT and hospitality?
Actually, my background is not in hospitality. I started as the majority of the ITs in this world as a computer technician when I was 18 years old, before 2 centuries about.
Almost.
Yes, before 23 years. So actually I was growing up through this industry, and I managed my 41 to become a manager in hospitality. Yes, you start from very, very low, but it's necessary in order to understand what you want to do and where you're gonna go in this field, at least in the IT field.
Okay, now we go to the how you end up in Malta. I know there's a story that I have a small part on it, and a lot of our viewers, and they're gonna hate me a bit. But do you want to tell us how you end up in Malta?
The story with Malta starts with a friend of my wife, who is here in Malta about 9 years now. And if in October of 2023, I came here with my wife for a honeymoon. After 8 years of marriage and two kids, we decided to
Yes.
have our honeymoon. So we came here in Malta for 4 days. We stayed in Gzira, magic Gzira. So
Almost city center.
yes, yes, yes. And as we were walking and having a walk in the sea, in front of the sea, we just start talking about Malta, if we like it or not, if we have a good time here, if we like the weather, blah blah blah. And at one time, I asked my wife, can you imagine our kids to grow up here in Malta?" She looked at me, said, "Yes, it's very very familiar as a place." And
I mean, this will be also for a lot of our viewers that they hear the episode and they are thinking Malta as destination. So it's very good to know that just with 4 days you had already the
yes, because we have about 15 kilometers of walking every day, so we had the we had seen the big picture of Malta and Valletta, which is beautiful.
Mm.
And after that, I asked my wife, "Do you want me to send some CVs in Malta just to check if I can manage to go there and to move there?" Yes, send. So I started sending CVs in Malta, and I had some interviews in Malta. One of the interviewers didn't want me even to hear for me.
I can imagine who's this.
Specifically, he threw away my CV and he denied to check my CV because I was Greek. He was a racist too. And this guy's you.
Actually, a lot of people they're gonna say that yes. But I left Greece because I I couldn't cooperate very good with other Greeks. So for me,
Me
uh,
too.
yes, every time that I was meeting someone from Greece was for me a bit challenge because we had this childhood trauma. It was like, no, no, I don't want. I want to meet new people from new countries, new accents and everything. But yes, and I remember I was with our HR manager, and we saw your CV, and we are like, she was like, but please see the CV. Don't just disregard because it's Greek. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna call him for interview, but I'm gonna just give him a call to see what is this guy doing. So, and we end up having a very good conversation the first time.
Yes, I was also surprised because I received a phone call from Malta number, and he was saying in Greek, "Hi, I'm Dimitris." What's going on now? Who is calling me?
And we end up finding all the details. Actually, I said that you were the best of all the
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 best in
candidates.
Malta.
Yes, the best in Malta. Actually, best even abroad because we had this time at this time we had interviews from South Africa, from India, from Spain, different like countries outside of Malta for this position because it was first time that we had someone IT
Hmm.
for the hotel, and we didn't know what exactly we need to look for it. So yes,
So after all this story,
audition.
all, actually it was an audition like that. I accepted the proposal. The hotel made me, and gradually we relocated. I relocated first, and my family came gradually here. So here we are after 1 year and something.
So 1 year and something working in hospitality IT. How is what is the first thoughts about this move and about this industry?
To be honest, as far as it concerns the IT, from IT perspective, either you are working in hospitality, either you are working in a company that provides IT services, it does not make a lot of changes in the work because you have a lot to do, you have many things to manage. Always you have the client in the end of the day to manage, attitudes, appraisals, complaints, all the stuff. So it's most of the the department, the kind of the job. It's mainly the same. The main difference is that you have to do with a very, very, very concentrated um, amount of job in one place and many things to happen at the same time. So you are the first target from someone for someone to find you. So you have a gathered job like this, you are in the middle, and you are getting requests.
But do you think that is this because so far this is how hospitality work, or that now they see that your role is the one that has a lot of responsibilities?
Uh, both, both, because uh, at least here in hotel before me, if I'm not wrong, you didn't have
No.
IT, so they just saw a guy walking around solving IT problems and getting requests for IT. So at the same time, he becomes their their man.
Mhm.
So whatever they need, they ask for it, even if it is relevant or irrelevant. And it's the hospitality that it's demanding because you have to do with big infrastructures. So the problems and the projects and all the stuff are of course bigger than you have to do with some smaller companies and dealing with problems with that, with these companies, because uh, if you are in the other side of IT companies that provide services, you have many small companies beneath you. You have more employees, of course,
Yeah.
so you can handle the requests and you manage the time and all the stuff. It's a bit easier.
Okay.
That's why I said you have concentrated everything in one place that gives you only requests.
I I I understand, and I know you did a lot of research also in the whole industry of Malta, but also
Mm.
abroad. And do you think this is like the whole industry of hospitality that is reacting like this to IT, or um, how are you gonna like what is the level hospitality got? Because IT is getting more and more in every industry. Is it like IT in hospitality a bit late? That's why there's a lot of things to be done.
No, no, this is the industry. To be honest, in Greece, I have worked on the other side on companies that were providing when I was, for example, up to 2016, I was in the biggest company in Greece that was providing contracts in many companies, kind of companies, and I was in the opposite, and I was managing hotels. So we were the outsourcing company
Mm.
of these hotels, so I can understand how a hotel works from the other side. It's not a big difference to be inside the hotel, and this is the kind of job. It's demanding. You have always requests from the smallest to the biggest thing. Everything has to pass from you. You are the main concern. You are the technology guy, team, or something.
And solutions. That's
And of course, you give solutions. If you give solutions, you're great. Just this.
now that you have a lot of experience in IT. Do you see big things coming? Like we're gonna talk about AI, about I don't know, like technologies that you never imagined even as a VR or AR technologies. Are they coming in hospitality?
Yes, for sure, for sure. Now, for example, we are opening the new hotel in Valletta, and we ordered the new equipment. I saw you some videos from our new equipment, and it's fascinating because now you, with a QR code that it's projecting in the front of a switch, for example, you can scan it with an application and you can see what you have configured in every port, just like that. You don't have to bend or go under a cabinet or something like that and tear your clothes until you find out what is configured. Just scan with a mobile phone and application and you're done. So AI is for sure now in
Yeah.
evolution.
And how you see your colleagues, the ones that they are many years in hospitality, but as they say, they're not technical. We have this kind of people in the hospitality. So, do they embrace the change? Do they resist? You see a gap?
Um, I can see them like our parents in technology. They are always curious for something new. They cannot embrace because, of course, they are stuck in their roles. They have so many things to do, so they cannot get deep knowledge of a technology. So they want to do it, they don't have the time, so they ask the
The,
guy that gives solution.
the IT guy.
Yes, or the IT related persons to know. So it's something like that.
How you think we can pull them in the evolution, as you said?
Of course, by training. Training is the most important thing in technology. We have to train them. We have to convince them that technology is not a bad thing. AI is not the devil. For example, it's something that could help in our jobs for many reasons.
And actually, I would say that prove to them by doing projects with these people, and they need to see the results.
Yes.
Because I happen to work with colleagues that they didn't want to change very simple things.
Yes, of course.
Use email, open a chat, and etc. And when you start working with them, this is when they get, okay, you know what? Yes, is they need to see, they need to,
You need to prove them.
experience. Yes.
You need to prove them something. If it's something that it gonna help them in their job, for example, if it's gonna save them 5 minutes from something they are doing now, they will embrace it. Of course, they will hug it, they will love it. So slowly, gradually, you can convince them that the technology is not a bad thing. It's not the devil.
Um, Now I'm gonna put you between the dilemma of cloud or on-premise services. So, are we gonna put all our data exposed to the cloud, or we keep them in our hands?
You cannot choose a side. You always have to work with what you need. For example, our infrastructure is like that we can move the most of the things cloud, which are not exposed. Let me correct you. It's not an exposure because cloud it's safe, and if you work in cloud like you should, it can be the safest thing in the planet. At the same time, you need to have some things on premise just for your security, for to be easier to manage, um, just because what you have on premise cannot embrace yet the cloud technology. For example, you have some applications that cannot run on cloud yet.
Yes, unfortunately.
So it's not what you want. It's you have to be adapted to what you need, and of course to work the best way you can, so you have the greatest results.
Uh, okay, of course, from your experience, but also all around, do you see investments like the big bosses are willing to invest to these new technologies?
Yes, yes, there is a trend that they are making investments. Sometimes, in order to get the investments, gets harder because, as we said before, they cannot embrace, they cannot understand yet the value of these technologies. But yes, there is a trend to invest in new technologies.
So, as every time we give messages to managers and directors, so C-level and managers and directors, please invest this time to technology. Make your life easier, make your life of your colleagues easier, and get better
And
results.
yes, and mostly IT's life easier.
So, what about how this data, big data that we collect?
Mhm.
I always say when I speak with from hospitality side that hotels they were always a source of data. Like we always used to take the passports, the home address, telephone, cards, and everything. So when people say that GPTR and etc.,
TPR,
we
IT.
uh, for us was already like we already hospitality had the policies had the for like everything in place in order to protect this. But by having now technology in hospitality, do you think could be a bigger dangers, like could be a potential a way to someone to come in the hospitality and take this data?
Um, by the classic meaning of coming and take the data, okay, it's not possible, but to have a network breach or something like that, yes, of course, it can be. When you are exposed to internet, you have to wait for it. But to be honest, if you are prepared for the worst, sometimes it's better and it's proactive to act proactively. So you have to ensure that your networks are fully secured, that you have taken all the measures that you need to take. You have to be updated. You have to use the latest protocols because these are the most dangerous things. If you have a data leak, especially in hospitality, because people don't know, can't understand what we are managing as data because it's not only the address, the ID, or a passport of an individual. It's far from that. It's their credit cards, it's their bank accounts, their IBANs, it's even um, some kind of health issues when we have, for example, spa, and I have secretly, I'm a guest and I have secretly said, oh, I have a back in the pain. I have a back pain, for example. It's
Very sensitive data, yes.
yes, it's a health record,
Yes.
and it's faced like this. So if we have a data leak there, the cost is probably millions. So you cannot play with this data. You have to be proactive and also always to be over this and try your best to secure, even in the worst case scenario, to have the less damage you can. You
Okay.
can never be fully protected,
Yes.
but you have to be prepared to have the less damage.
At least you have the tools, you have education, you
Yes.
have this,
And of course to stay updated to the laws, to the GDPR, to what the local laws say about
Mhm.
GDPR and data leaks and all the stuff, and to be updated always.
Okay, okay. Now let's go to the funny part of your of your day. Strange requests.
Strange requests.
I know that you have a lot of people asking to change their password. Please remember your password. Matt, please remember your password. Even when you change, remember your password.
Yes. Strange requests. One common strange request that it's solved by the classic uh, way. Maybe you have seen it in the serious IT crowd. It's oh, something is frozen, something it's not working, and you say always, have you restarted your PC? And everything is fixed after that. It's a classic request.
Restart your PC.
Yes, yes. Through the years, not here, my 1 year in Malta, I have seen a lot of strange things in IT, and sometimes scary things in IT.
Okay. I know that for sure, probably your inspiration and motivation for your career probably is not coming from hospitality,
Mm-hmm.
but because inspiration is coming from all around. What is the one that inspires you to grow your career, or who?
Definitely not you. You throw away my CV. So let's go further.
I took it back.
Okay. So the inspiration to be in the IT industry, either in hospitality or outside hospitality, it's the job itself. It's challenging. It's full of surprises. You cannot have a same day like yesterday. It's everything. Every day is different, different problems. different troubleshooting, different ideas for solutions. So it keeps you, every day you are warm. You cannot get cold in this
Yes,
position.
because if you stay, you will be feel bored, and then
Yes,
you
yes.
don't want.
So if you can stand this tempo, it's the ideal job for someone.
And what advice you would give to someone that is starting now in your field? Like how someone can grow, and like what are the values that they need to follow?
I want to give three advices for someone very new in this field. First is also my motto. Uh, no matter what experience you are always learning to this job, even if you have to do with juniors or seniors or experts or whatever. Even if you are the head of department, you have to learn from your juniors because everyone in this job has to tell you something. Of course, you have to share your experience.
And you need to filter it after.
Yes, yes, of course, of course, of course. The second advice that I have is think out of the box. It's not a job that you can make some boxes and follow the rules and follow a documentation or something. Yes, you have documentation, you have the way written, you have a methodology that you have to follow just to make sure that you are in the wrong, you are in the right direction. But in my experience, 99% the greatest solutions in this job are coming when you think out of the box.
And this is what makes you unique, when you have
Yes.
the capacity to be able to think like this.
Yes, because you are very fast, you are very effective. Maybe sometimes it's not the best way to solve the problems, but it's the most effective way to solve the problem. So think out of the box. It's the second advice. Advice.
And the third one?
If you don't know it, just fucking Google it.
Nowadays, not only Google it, but ChatGPT it.
No,
No?
I
Just
insist
Google.
in Google because
Why?
ChatGPT nowadays, because in my previous job, it was a trend for all the developers to use ChatGPT just to be quicker in developing and writing code and all the stuff. Uh, I noticed that they became some kind of stupid.
Actually, you are the second guest that telling me exactly this thing, that by using this kind of technology like ChatGPT, it doesn't make you better, but it makes you a bit more lazy.
Uh, there is a thin line between using a tool effectively and to be lazy. There's a thin line. When you know why you are using a tool, it's okay, it's effective. When you use the tool to produce results, it's laziness.
Mm.
You have to be somewhere in the middle. Yes, it saves time, but first of all, you have to think because even these machines, the AI, you need to give them the right prompts to produce results. If you say, just write this code for me, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get a piece of code, you copy paste it, and you never learn from this.
Yes.
So that's the reason I insist when you don't know it, just
Google.
fucking Google it.
So someone is there having the same question, I suppose, out there in the world.
Yes.
Perfect. So at this point, I want to thank you for visiting our podcast.
Thank you for
Thank you
the
for
invitation.
thank you for sharing all this information. I'm extremely happy that eventually you join working with me at that time of the year, a
Okay.
few years back. And it's time to close one more episode 105, the IT manager, and to say to everyone to watch our episode on YouTube, on Spotify, or they can visit our website, hotelierwiththeaccent.com. And of course, if you want to ask something, George, put it on our comments, and George will reply. I will force him.
First, before I reply, just restart your PC.
Yes, restart your PC. Thank you very much. Bye.